She begged for help, but what she got was a boot to the belly. In seconds, her world turned upside down, but her husband turned pain into something no one saw coming. What happened next will leave you speechless. Asterisk, in what began as an ordinary traffic stop on the outskirts of suburban Georgia. A routine encounter spiraled into a shocking act of police brutality that left an entire community stunned. The victim, a 28-year-old pregnant black woman named Alana Brooks, was riding in the passenger seat of her husband's vehicle when they were pulled over for an alleged failure to signal. What followed, however, went far beyond any minor traffic infraction. According to witnesses and later confirmed video footage, the responding officer displayed aggression immediately upon approaching the vehicle. Despite Alana's calm demeanor, invisibly pregnant state, the officer demanded she exit the car. And within moments, the situation escalated. Shouting erupted, cell phones recorded, and in a horrifying moment captured from multiple angles. The officer kicked Alana in the stomach, causing her to collapse to the pavement in distress. Bystanders screamed, but the officer remained unmoved, was rendered by law enforcement at the scene. It was Alana's husband, Marcus, who rushed to her side, cradling her while demanding an ambulance. The footage spread rapidly across social media, drawing intense public outrage. Civil rights activists, legal experts, and local leaders decried. The event is yet another example of unchecked police violence targeting black bodies, especially vulnerable ones. The officer involved was not immediately placed on leave, sparking further backlash and protests. Despite the evidence and public outcry, official statements from the police department remained vague and dismissive, suggesting non-compliance without directly addressing the assault. The trauma inflicted on Alana, both physically and emotionally, refused to let the incident be swept under the rug. Driven by anger, love, and a deep sense of justice, Marcus took it upon himself to expose the truth and hold the officer accountable. He quickly realized that relying solely on the police department or local authorities would not bring justice, especially given the department's initial lack of transparency and refusal to acknowledge the wrongdoing. Marcus began by collecting every piece of evidence available, the viral video footage, eyewitness testimonies, and medical records documenting Alana's injuries and the risk posed to their unborn child. He connected with civil rights organizations and local activists who helped amplify his cause and navigate the complex legal system. Media outlets soon caught wind of the story, leading to widespread public attention that put pressure on local officials. As Marcus dug deeper, involving the same officer in a history of complaints that were either ignored or minimized by the police department, this revelation not only bolstered Marcus's case, but also fueled broader discussions about systemic racism in police accountability. Despite facing intimidation and attempts to discredit him, Marcus remained steadfast. His efforts sparked protests in community meetings, demanding justice for Alana and reforms within the police force. Retribution, but about preventing future abuses. His relentless pursuit of truth became a symbol of resilience and courage in the face of injustice, accountability from those sworn to protect the public. Marcus Brooks's response to the attack on his pregnant wife went far beyond seeking traditional justice. Understanding that the system was slow and often complicit in protecting its own, Marcus devised a plan that would ensure the truth could no longer be ignored. The systemic corruption and demanding accountability on a scale that shook the entire city. Using the evidence he had painstakingly gathered, Marcus worked closely with attorneys and civil rights advocates to file a high-profile lawsuit against the police department and the officer responsible for the assault. The case attracted national media coverage, turning a local incident into a symbol of the urgent need for police reform across the country. Public pressure intensified as community leaders, activists, officers' brutal actions, but also exposed a pattern of misconduct within the department, ignored complaints, lack of proper training, and a culture of silence. These revelations forced the police chief to step down and triggered internal investigations that led to policy changes and increased oversight. Marcus's strategic use of social media further galvanized support. He organized peaceful demonstrations, collaborated with journalists, and ensured that the conversation about police brutality. His revenge became a powerful movement, one that demanded systemic change rather than personal vengeance. The outcome was a mix of victories and setbacks, but Marcus's fight fundamentally changed the narrative around police violence in his community. The officer was eventually charged and faced disciplinary action in their own communities. This story is a testament to the power of resilience and the impact one person can have when they refuse to stay silent. Marcus and Alana's experience reminds us that justice is not always immediate, but can be achieved through relentless determination and collective action. If you like this story and want to hear more powerful accounts of courage and justice, what questions do you have about Marcus and Alana's journey? Share your thoughts in the comments below.